Have you ever been in a room where someone is called up to speak and then the person walks up the stage and suddenly everywhere goes quiet? People lean in, they listen, they pay rapt attention to every word coming out from his mouth. It's not because he has a magic wand that is spun around and the people just got suddenly attracted. It's because he has something that most other people do not have. He knows or she knew how to speak with authority. They say, this is a very important thing that you need to know. Your ability to stand on stage and have people connect with you is called presence. Now, that presence is what I want to share with you in this video. I am Dr. Emmanuel Doba, the founder and executive director of the African Institute of Public Speaking and Communication Excellence. Do you know that in the first 7 seconds of your appearing on stage, that's the much time needed for people to decide whether or not they'll pay attention to what you have to say? That means that your presence has a lot to do with the acceptance you receive from your audience. This is why you need to understand the power of presence and how to speak with authority, because it starts with your presence. I'll tell you a quick story. I recall once upon a time when I was invited to solve a major crisis just because someone made a statement in a gathering of leaders and, of course, not just leaders, community leaders, and they got offended by that statement. It was a time to manage the crisis, and they felt the only one that had the capability to do so was yours truly. I walked up the stage without saying a word. I stood with the microphone in hand and I looked into the audience for a moment. And everybody suddenly, seeing a young man stand on stage, looked up, wondering what next I was going to say. That was the power of presence. I didn't just walk on stage carelessly. I took time. I was conscious about how I breathed when I stood right there. And the moment they paid rapt attention to me, my opening statement quelled the tension. It really wasn't about what I said. It was about my presence. And so when you understand how important it is for you to apply the power of presence, then you can begin to speak with authority. And some people speak and people don't pay attention because they don't understand how to speak with authority. There are three elements that you need to understand if you want to do this successfully. The first is your posture. How you stand matters a lot. There is a way you stand on stage and people will think that you are slouching and you're not a serious-minded person. That is number one. Secondly, your breathing. Even when you are under pressure, control your breath, because that is one thing that exposes you to the people and telling them that, you know what, you ain't prepared. But if you can do some breathing exercise and breathe consciously without letting them know how it's happening or what's happening on your inside, then you will be able to build enough composure, because remember, the spoken word is controlled by your breath. And that's why you need to control your breathing, because if you fail to do so, you'll be speaking too fast, and that may not be the best for you at the time, because people need time to process what you have said. Did you notice that even as I'm speaking to you right now, I take a breather to enable you appreciate, comprehend, interpret, and sink in all that I'm saying. The third thing you also need to know, which is going to help you in this journey of speaking with confidence, is the mighty tool called your words. How do you share your ideas? What are the things that you say when you speak? Are they well organized? Or do you just splatter words here and there, not making your ideas connect properly? If you can do these three things and do them successfully, then you will be that person that the world wants to listen to. You see, in the African Institute of Public Speaking and Communication Excellence, we help you to understand the nitty-gritty of communication. And your ability to speak confidently starts with your presence. And this is why I'm saying this to you today, that you can become a better speaker, because the art of communication can be learned just like every other skill. You can learn it. You can become better. And the most interesting part of it all is that it's never ending, because you could be better today at this point. You need to top up to become greater tomorrow. Even the world's greatest speakers that you know today that speak with authority, they also had the challenge of having to learn. One of the greatest minds in the world today that I respect so much is the man who has shown so much commitment to effective communication and public speaking. Interestingly, it's not Dale Carnegie. No, it is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett was someone who had to pay $100 just to learn how to speak confidently. And the first time he paid, he couldn't go for the class because stage fright almost ruined him. He paid again, and this time he had to take the class. Today, when Warren Buffett speaks, everyone listens because he speaks with authority. What is the essence of Warren Buffett's story here? It is the fact that you too, just like Warren Buffett, can learn the art of communication. And I invite you to join me at the African Institute of Public Speaking and Communication Excellence so that you can become that confident speaker that speaks with authority. I'll see you in my next video, as I hope that you will be willing to learn and become better. From me to you is Dr. Emmanuel Doba, founder and executive director of the African Institute of Public Speaking and Communication Excellence. Bye for now. Ciao.